On March 11th, 2011, the Earth moved. For 6 terrifying minutes, a magnitude 9.0 earthquake, the 4th largest ever recorded, shook Japan. The seabed lurched 50 meters. The main island of Honshu actually shifted east by 8 feet. 20,000 people died. That was a 9. But today, freaking hell, we are talking about 10. A magnitude 10 earthquake is not just bigger. It is a geological impossibility, or is it? Scientists say the Earth's crust physically cannot sustain a fault line long enough to generate a But for this video, let us break the laws of physics. Let us imagine that the entire Pacific Ring of Fire snaps at once. What happens to you? What happens to the planet? Let us start with the numbers. The magnitude scale is logarithmic. That means a magnitude 10 is not just 1 point higher than a 9. It is 32 times stronger in terms of energy release. To comprehend the energy of a magnitude 10, we must first understand the Richter scale is logarithmic. It doesn't measure in steps, but in leaps. The 2011 Tohoku earthquake, a magnitude 9.0, released energy equivalent to 600 million Hiroshima bombs. The largest quake ever recorded, the 1960 Valdivia earthquake in Chile, was a 9.5. That half-point jump represents nearly 6 times more energy. A magnitude 10 would be over 5 times more powerful than even that, releasing roughly 32 times the energy of the Japanese quake. It's an amount of force our minds can barely quantify. This isn't just a tremor, it's a planetary scale vibration. The energy radiates outwards not as a sound you can hear, but as a pressure wave you feel deep inside your chest, in your very bones. It's a sensation that travels for thousands of miles, a silent, terrifying herald of what's to come. The first sign something is profoundly wrong is not the ground shaking, it's the unnatural stillness as animals sense the coming danger. Then the sound arrives, a deep, infrasonic roar that seems to emanate from the Earth's core itself. The sound of a continent being torn apart, and then the primary waves hit. These P waves are compressional, like a sound wave, traveling through the planet's crust at 15,000 miles per hour. They deliver the first violent jolt. In the first 30 seconds, every building constructed before the year 2025 simply disintegrates. Modern skyscrapers, marvels of engineering, are designed to sway and absorb seismic energy, but they are designed for 30 to 60 seconds of shaking, the duration of a typical great earthquake. A magnitude 10 event does not shake for seconds, it shakes for minutes. The relentless violent motion continues, pushing every structure past its breaking point. It shakes for 10 minutes. Buildings swaying violently, then folding like dominoes. Glass raining down. You cannot stand. You cannot crawl. The ground is moving vertically and horizontally simultaneously at speeds of over 5 miles per hour. It feels like standing on a jackhammer inside a blender. Roads do not crack. They liquefy. In coastal cities like San Francisco, Seattle, and Tokyo, the landfill beneath the city turns to quicksand. Skyscrapers do not fall over. They sink straight down into the mud, and then the shaking stops, but the world is already dead. A 9.0 earthquake creates a 130-foot tsunami. A 10.0 earthquake creates what geologists call a mega tsunami. And it is not a wall of water. It is the ocean moving inland. The rupture would likely happen along the Pacific Ring of Fire, a 25,000-mile horseshoe of fault lines. The displacement of water would be instantaneous. Within 15 minutes, a wave averaging 1,000 feet tall, taller than the Eiffel Tower, slams into the west coast of North America. There is no evacuation. The wave travels inland at 500 miles per hour. It does not stop at the beach. It clears the coastal ranges. It floods the Central Valley of California 200 miles inland. Los Angeles, San Diego, Seattle, gone, not damaged, just gone. But the devastation isn't confined to the Pacific. The energy released is so incomprehensibly massive that its seismic waves don't just travel across the surface, they punch directly through the planet's core. Primary waves race through the liquid outer core and solid inner core, emerging on the other side of the world. The entire planet begins to ring like a bell, a low-frequency hum felt by every living thing. In London, nearly 6,000 miles away, the ground itself rises and falls by 3 feet in a slow, nauseating swell. Within 90 minutes, the initial shock has propagated so far that every single ocean basin on Earth has experienced a tsunami. No coastline is safe. The Atlantic Ocean, normally shielded from Pacific tsunamis by the Americas, faces its own nightmare. The seismic energy resonates with the mid-Atlantic ridge, causing the entire undersea mountain range to vibrate violently. This generates a new, localized mega-tsunami. Waves up to 300 feet high race towards unprepared shores. New York, Lisbon, Rio de Janeiro, all are erased. Every coastal city on Earth is scoured clean. But it's not just the cities. Critical infrastructure, dams, ports, and dozens of coastal nuclear power plants are inundated and destroyed, triggering cascading failures across global power grids and supply chains. We have talked about the cities. Now let us talk about the planet. A magnitude 10 earthquake does not just crack the crust. It fundamentally rearranges it. The sheer violence of the slip doesn't just follow an existing fault. It creates a new planetary boundary. The immediate rupture creates a scar in the Earth's crust, over 1,000 miles long and 50 miles deep, plunging through the lithosphere into the asthenosphere below. This is not a fault line anymore. It is a canyon, a gaping wound into the planet's interior. Magma from the upper mantle, which is usually kept under immense pressure, finds this new catastrophic release valve. A 1,000-mile-long curtain of fire erupts into the sky. For weeks after the quake, the ring of fire does not just erupt, it ignites. The immense seismic shockwaves from the magnitude 10 event race through the Earth's crust, violently disturbing magma chambers across the Pacific plate. It's a catastrophic chain reaction. Every major volcano from Mount Fuji in Japan to Mount Rainier in the United States to Krakatoa in Indonesia erupts in a terrifying synchronized chorus of destruction. Hundreds of vents, dormant for centuries, roar back to life. The combined ash columns merge, punching 30 miles into the stratosphere, far above the weather and the cruising altitude of commercial jets. Once there, the fine particles and sulfur dioxide don't just fall back down. They react with water vapor, forming a persistent haze of sulfate aerosols. All air travel ceases immediately. Within 48 hours, the northern hemisphere is smothered in a blanket of ash so thick that daylight becomes a perpetual hazy twilight. The sun is a dim, blood-red coin in the sky. On the ground, the air is toxic, filled with microscopic shards of rock and glass. Breathing outside without filtration becomes lethal. Indoor air quality plummets. This suffocating volcanic winter is just beginning, and it could last for years. But the ash is only one planetary scale consequence. There is another, more subtle change happening, the kind they do not put in the disaster movies. It has to do with the fundamental rotation of the Earth itself. When a magnitude 9.0 hit Japan in 2011, it shifted the Earth's axis by about 6 inches and shortened the day by 1.8 microseconds. A magnitude 10.0 is so massive that it would shift the planet's mass distribution significantly. The day would get shorter by 14 milliseconds. That does not sound like much. But that shift would require the entire crust of the Earth to move several meters relative to the core. GPS satellites would immediately lose sync. Every financial transaction on Earth would corrupt. The magnetic field would wobble. For the survivors, and there would be survivors far inland in places like Denver or the Swiss Alps, the real enemy is not the ground. It is the silence and the cold. The volcanic ash in the sky triggers a volcanic winter. It is like a nuclear winter, but worse. Global temperatures drop by 15 to 20 degrees Celsius overnight. Growing seasons collapse. The ash settles on the remaining lakes and rivers, turning them into acid. Within 6 months, 95% of the world's crops are dead. Global starvation kills more people than the initial quake by a factor of 10 to 1. Modern civilization is a Jenga tower. The earthquake pulled out the bottom block. No power grid, transformer stations are flattened. No internet, submarine cables are snapped. No fuel, refineries are burning. Humanity would be thrown back to the 18th century overnight. But unlike the 18th century, we have no clean air, no stable climate, and no topsoil. So the reality is this: a magnitude 10 earthquake is the only known natural event that could plausibly end industrial civilization, not make it struggle, end it. But here is the silver lining, and it is a scientific one. The laws of physics say this cannot happen. A magnitude 10 requires a fault line that is continuous for thousands of miles. The Earth's crust is too fractured. It would break into smaller quakes before reaching that energy. But the Earth does not need to hit a 10 to destroy a city, it just needs 7. And a 7 happens every single month. You do not need to worry about the end of the world. You just need to worry about the next 30 seconds. Stay safe, secure your bookshelves. And if you feel the ground start to roll, you have about 15 seconds to get outside.
I'll be back.